Hello, everyone. So, despite not having any in person tournaments, December's actually been a pretty exciting month for VGC, and it's mainly because of all these big online tournaments that we've had. So, in this video, I just want to go through and talk about each of these tournaments and discuss some of the major meta developments and trends. Now, I am going to go in order from the start of the month to the end of the month. So, to start off, we do have this major Limitless tour. This is, I believe, the largest Limitless tour we've ever had for VGC, and it got over 900 people. So there's a few interesting things that come out of this. Now, first off, Jude Lee won with this Roaring Moon Balance team, and this team has been around. I don't think it's anything particularly like exciting or even like that great. Like I think the team is really solid, but it's very much just like a team. It's a balanced team. You outplay with it. I think there are better balanced teams, and I think Jude just is a very strong player. He was probably able to outplay most of his opponents, and that's probably how he got this win. The second place team is a little bit more interesting. This is a sort of more of, I'll open this up here, but this is a sort of hyper offense tailwind team. And this team is pretty strong for a lot of reasons, but the main thing is that you can sort of just pressure, the choice band Wicked Blow and pin a lot of things. This pairing of Tornadus and Smeargle is also quite cool. I wouldn't be surprised to see this on some other things. We actually saw this in Regulation I on some of the Shadow Riders Amazenta teams, mainly Yuma Kinagawa's version. He had this Smeargle Tornadus pairing, and you can click Tailwind and Spore, and you can decorate yourself and actually do a lot of damage with the Sharp Beak boosted Bleakwind Storms. So that's something really interesting. I would actually say, though, one of the most significant teams to come out of this tournament was this team down here in 14th place from Elizabeth. And this team, I've actually seen a lot of people running this. It's been doing pretty well at other like big online tournaments, at locals, at that sort of thing. So this team's definitely something to look out for. Some people are replacing the Sinistra with an Amoonguss, so that's also something to take note of. I think that's also a very strong version. But this team, honestly, it doesn't have too many bad matchups. If you look at the teams that Elizabeth lost to, this P2 Ursa stuff, that is definitely a bad matchup. But the P2 Ursa stuff is not really as common. So that's a bad matchup that's like okay to have. It's not completely unplayable, but it's definitely quite bad. I don't think the matchup into Jude's Roaring Moon Balance team is particularly like terrible or anything. And then this matchup right here, this is probably its worst sort of relevant matchup. This Tornadus Urshifu with this Spam Iron Crown Regidrago stuff. This is probably its worst relevant matchup. So just mainly the Tornadus Urshifu can put on a lot of pressure, and it can be pretty scary for this team to deal with. But definitely something interesting to try out, pick up if you're interested. Now, I do think this team could have like some pretty good regional results in the upcoming regionals that we're getting in January, February. So yeah, keep an eye on that. I don't think there's anything else too relevant here other than this Dondozo team. I think this Dondozo team is quite interesting. I've seen quite a few people pick this up, and really, I mean, it's just your standard wheezing toxic stall stuff, and then Shenpao Urshifu is obviously very strong, and the pairing of Shenpao Dragonite is very strong. So you just have a lot of strong lead options, and then that toxic stall element. So the next tournament I wanted to go over is the VR December Challenge 1, and this took place about a week after the other tournament that I just went over. And you can see Naoto Mizubuchi won this. I probably butchered the name, but he's one of the best players probably ever. Definitely one of the best players in Japan. And he won with this Regidrago Amoonguss balance team. This is a really interesting team. I think that it probably hasn't picked up because of how difficult it is to use. I would imagine it's not very easy because the only speed control you have on the team is Raging Bolt. And Regidrago usually appreciates a lot of speed control, like heavy, like Prankster Tailwind type of speed control, because it's such a slow Pokemon naturally. So you can't fire off those full powered dragon energies very easily without a lot of strong speed control. So it's very interesting that he was able to win with this team. Um, and then in second, you see this Dozo team. Now, something interesting about the Dondozos in this tournament is they were actually Terragrass Oblivious, both this one in second place and this one down in 12th. So, I'm not so sure how I feel about Oblivious, but apparently it's working for them. It's able to stop, the Intimidate spam. And so that's quite interesting. This one, I believe, was Covert Cloak, and the one down here was Rocky Helmet. And this team in second, this Dondozo team, hasn't actually picked up too much. I thought it would pick up a little bit more, but it hasn't. So, I don't know. Maybe it'll pick up a little bit more going forward. I'm not sure. But then if we scroll down a little bit, we see Leland here. This is the same person that got second at the tournament from a week ago. And he basically just replaced the Flutter main with a Landorus. I think that's all changes that he made here. He's actually a seniors division player, so this is quite impressive that he's been able to get second and seventh at these two major online tournaments. Some of the seniors are really good, man. And then you'll see more of this like Tornadus, Urshifu, Regidrago, Spam stuff here as well. This is something that's been performing quite consistently, so we'll probably see more of it. Also, this team in third, this is a pretty interesting, it's just a lot of good pieces, right? Like that's really what this team is. There are a lot of good pieces together, and apparently it works. And this is a variation of the Roy Moon balance stuff. It's not quite the same as Jude's. It's actually pretty different, I think, functionally. But this is a variant that we have seen before in the first iteration of Regulation F. So I'm sure this will pop up from time to time. I don't expect it to do amazingly well, but clearly it's working here for Adam. I think that's pretty much it for this tournament. Actually, this Rain Among Us team is also pretty interesting, I think. So we'll see if this picks up at all. Now, if we move forward by a week, we get to the VR December Challenge 2. And this tournament is definitely a very impactful one, because we can see a lot of trends starting right with this tournament. Now, Bolt Balance 1, this is not super surprising. I mean, it's sort of just a player difference team. If you're a really good player and you pick up this team and you play it well, you're going to get wins with it. It's very well-rounded. So you see Bolt Balance 1. Bolt Balance also got top 4. Different variants, but still Bolt Balance. Now, you also see the Elizabeth team in 7th place here, and I still think this team is going to pick up and do very, very well going forward. So definitely not too surprising to see it in the top cut here. Now, this team in 2nd place is really what I want to talk about, because this is sort of the start of this Thunderwave Flutter main with Rockslide Arcanine, and it did exist beforehand, but it wasn't getting these sort of results, and the team wasn't as fleshed out. So, it's definitely improved to a point where it's very, very relevant now. And you'll see in 6th place as well, very similar concept, just a few different surrounding pieces. This Sneasler here on the 2nd place team as well, I believe was a last minute addition. So these other 5 pieces are definitely the more important pieces on the team. The Sneasler is sort of a patch piece, but I think there are other pieces you can try in that slot if you wanted to try this team. But yeah, definitely some interesting stuff to come out of this tournament. Now, on the exact same weekend as that other Victory Road tournament, this Limitless tournament was happening. And this was a 200-person Limitless tournament, so it was roughly the same size as the Victory Road tournament. And you can see some similar trends actually going on in this tournament compared to the other one. Bolt Balance 1st and 2nd. And then this is just some Shenpao, Entei, plus 4 other good Pokemon. This team seems fine, but not something, super interesting or whatever. Now, moving on to this Flutter main team, you'll see, this is just more of that Flutter main Rockslide stuff, and it's very interesting. This stuff just sort of popped up this weekend, and it's been doing very, very well. You can see that Pato also in 8th place with the Elizabeth team. So a lot of similar stuff going on in this tournament compared to the Victory Road tournament. The only major difference here in this top cut is there's this Hard Trick Room team, and this is not the standard Hard Trick Room team. I feel like the more standard Hard Trick Room team I've seen is the one with the Smeargle and Farigiraf. And then you have the Indeedee Hatterene, Banded Urshifu, and Torkoal. This one has a couple of different pieces. You have the Ursaluna and the Gallade. So that's pretty interesting, but nothing else too crazy coming out of this tournament. Now, finally, if we jump forward one more week, we have the VR December Challenge 3, and this just happened this past weekend. So nothing too crazy going on here. We see more of this T-Wave Flutter and Rock Slide stuff, and this actually won this time. And this was the Goldango version, so definitely interesting to see. There's a couple of different versions doing well. And then in second place, we have Bolt Balance. That's not going anywhere. More T-Wave Rock Slide stuff from Marco. And this is a team that actually got really popular just on that weekend. And it's this variation of the T-Wave Rock Slide with a Dark Urshifu, just a Sash Dark Urshifu. And I think it pairs really nicely with the compositions. So definitely expect to see that version getting really popular going forward. Now, the most new or different team, I guess, to come out of this is this Sun team, and this is from Elizabeth as well. So Elizabeth, very strong builder. It feels like they keep coming up with new meta relevant teams and doing very well with them. So really interesting to see this. I'm not sure how much this will pick up, but it's definitely an interesting team. And then we see more of this Sun stuff actually going lower down. This is with a Great Tusk. I'm not sure how I feel about the Great Tusk, but I guess it's strong at the very least, so it seems alright. And then this team is very interesting, but I don't think it'll stick around too much, this Iron Valiant. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. And we also see this Landorus Therian starting to pick up. This is Banded Landorus Therian, and it's actually quite good into some of the T-Wave Rock Slide teams. So that's probably why it's picking up here. Now, to finish up this video, I did want to just go over the most relevant stuff that sort of come out of these online tournaments. So first of all, we have the Elizabeth team, and then Bolt Balance is still good, obviously. We figured that out, I think. And then we have these three variations of this Paraflinch team that's become super popular. I do expect this Dark Urshifu one actually to probably be the most popular going into regionals coming soon in January. But I mean, overall it's been quite an interesting month, and so I'm definitely interested to see what will happen going forward. Something else to note is that Dondozo really sort of fell off in these top cuts moving towards the end. So because we saw a Dondozo in top cut of the first tournament, 2 in top cut of the second one, and then no more Dondozo. So we'll see. I mean, we saw solo Dozo, but not Dondozo with Tatsugiri. So yeah, we'll see what happens going forward. I'm really excited for Toronto. I'll be there, and there's a few other regionals happening this month. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But I hope you guys found this video helpful, and if you did, I'd really appreciate it if you liked and subscribed. Thank you. Bye.